Hey now, y'all. It's your man Foul Shot and the Toothless Wonder back with another video on the Bamboozled Again News Network, right? I just listened to my last video, and I really don't think I covered it the way I actually wanted to. I'd be jumping around, and just it'd be hard for me to collect all the various aspects of my thoughts and what have you, right? But I'm gonna try to stick to the topic of my thoughts on single motherhood, man, in today's time and actuality. And unbeknownst, because of the delusion that has been set here, I don't think the single, I'm talking primarily black women, I don't think they understand the peril that they're in. If the black man, even though they say black men are still fooling with black women, as far as the numbers are 85% as far as marriage and so on and so forth, but they also say, women instigate divorce or, trigger divorce 70% of the time. That's a rough one, man, because and I've talked about this in other videos. Yo, the social cataclysm is upon us. And I'm talking primarily to the single mother, black woman who's uncovered, woo, 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 woo. We can look at, news of all these missing black kids and black women. You see what I'm saying? We can look at the black woman's appearance value internationally. That's why these fake woke people be trying to shame brothers into staying on the plantation, where you're subservient to everyone. You understand me? Like you had the Russell Wilson brother, you know what I'm saying? Sisters ain't feeling him for whatever reason. But then they'll call him a sellout if he go get a white girl. You know what I mean? Then on the flip side of the game, the fake double standard, when the white woman get with an average Brad or Tyler, and typically when that happens, the black woman makes more money than him, they say, oh girl, you won. You know what I mean? The black woman has been, indoctrinated to hate the black man. You see what I'm saying? Especially the decent black man. I've noticed this, right? Whereas though it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where, black men are dusty, they ain't this, they ain't that, right? But if you go and talk to these women about, their dating history, all their dating history, they dated the same guys they end up complaining about. But then will flake or leave on red, like the Russell Wilson type of brother, for lack of a better, identification, right? And then what typically happens, once they get 30, 35, 40, then they try to find that brother, but they're still operating in other ways and they don't respect him. They're just there for finance. Like I know quite a few personal situations like that, where they got with a dude they're really not attracted to for the finance of it, but she's still dressing and living like she's single. You know what I mean? I saw a post of someone that I dated, sister, and she's married to a military guy. He looked kind of corny, to be honest with you, right? But she had took a picture by, I guess they were fishing, and she said, my husband, I gave my husband permission to fish. You know what I mean? Like these are the subtleties of the mentality of the single mother. The entitlement. It's not that black men hate black women. Black black men hate what black women have become. And because we don't control the court, society, or have a nation in and of ourselves, um, because of the detriment of the current state of affairs, self-actualized brothers such as myself have not only left black women alone, we've left the community. If you do community work, that's why when you do community work, you gotta write grants and get people to donate and all that, because the community won't get behind you, and you the one doing the work to benefit others, and they don't appreciate it. At the crux of it, I think that's what's detrimental to brothers dating single mothers is the lack of appreciation. Really, it don't take a whole lot to make a man happy. But the few things we do desire, appreciation, respect, loyalty, fundamental things, are completely off the table. That's why typically, from what I've observed as a social observationist, Even if the brother got money, single mothers tend to get the brother that isn't as knowledgeable of the game. You see what I'm saying? Like I've talked about, they want you unknowledgeable and stupid to a degree. If I can't use you, you're of no benefit to me. See, in this upside down Babylonian construct, the modernized woman perceives that everything is there to serve her. That's why you'll notice when things don't go her way, she crash out, spaz out. Typically, when she does do certain things, there's an underlying motive and agenda for doing it. Here's a case in point. Let's say she do something nice for your birthday or whatever. Y'all get into an argument. And if the first thing she does is bring up what she did for you, she didn't do it generally. She did it to put in her back pocket, to then whenever you attempt to address whatever the particular issue is, she can say, why are you saying that? I did this for you. A lot of the time, from my experiences personally and, with people I know, it's not genuine. There's a lot of manipulation and gaslighting and projecting, and you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not the super, some brothers on here, they super lying, they all hoes, and you know what I mean, woo-woo, and they are. But I try to make my appeals as like a big cousin or something. Like if I was talking to my cousin and I see her out there playing dudes, I'm like, look, man, you might not want to do that, yo. And then here's what's happening, and here's what's detrimental. Because brothers are now coming to this awakening, they're not so inclined to help anymore. They're not so inclined to get you out of a jam you done put yourself in. Because typically, once the jam is over with, you forget all about the man till you need him again. Men are tired of being used. Men are tired of not getting the simple things that they ask for, but yet required to do the most impractical things to keep a woman happy, and she'll still never be happy. Happiness isn't the focus or the end all to be all, because happiness is a feeling and emotion. It's fleeting. If you're getting into a relationship with anybody because they make you happy, what are you going to do when they don't do that? There's nothing to fall back on. Like our grandparents didn't stay together because they were happy. They stayed together because that was the culture. It's everybody's culture, but they also understand the importance of self-sacrifice. Now nothing works because nobody's willing to sacrifice. And brothers have sacrificed, but they didn't get anything. They didn't get a return on the investment. They actually lost on the investment. So now brothers aren't sacrificing. Now brothers have went super hard in the paint and saying, if it ain't about me, I ain't fooling with it. And what women fail to realize is a man is more adept to survive than a woman is. Now, you can survive without a man so long as the system as it's currently constructed stays in place. But if you look at like when Venezuela went through their economic crash, you had women who were doctors who turned to prostitution. This is a false construct. That's why nothing makes any sense here. Even the things we champion and esteem don't work in application. And then they incentivize, women through, Planned Parenthood, abortion, no-fault divorce, so on and so forth, because the people at the top know it will destroy you and nobody's coming to save you if the people who are designed to save you, you've alienated or no longer see you as women. See, this is where like all that feminism and all that stuff comes back to bite you in your hind parts, because if you're scantily clad, I don't feel the need to protect you. You protect women, not hoes. That's why hoes got to get a pimp. You see what I'm saying? I just watched a clip on the real life street stars of the queen maker woman, right? I saw the first video and I was appalled. She was talking that super duper feminism. She was articulating very eloquently, might I add, that men need to be ruled by women and that men can't make decisions for their own and whoop, right? And she made it sound real good. But of course, you got to dig deeper, right? Check it out. She just came back on another interview, and in the clip I saw, she said, now I understand, because I guess she's, alternative, right? She said, now I understand what men are talking about. Now, she ain't fooling with women. It's insane out there, Jack. She said because she's more like assertive, masculine, or has more masculine traits. She told a story about how long it took her girlfriend to get ready to go somewhere. And then she had made other provisions, and the women came after her. And she was like, they came after me because they view me as a man, so they attack me. See how convoluted all this foolishness is, yo? But we're here now in this space. You see what I'm saying? Now we got to deal with it. From the personal experience I know, it's gonna be a cold winter, baby. And I'm not saying this and like, yeah, we finally got them back. And this is more out of empathy. I don't think they understand or can quantify the detriment that's coming down the pipe by not having a man, a decent man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about pervert, nothing like that. I'm talking about decent. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, here's a deeper level to this here, right? As I've gotten into more like the more psychological, whatever you want to call it, aspects of it. The more men a woman has dealt with, the harder it is for her psychologically to pair bond with one man. That's why that talking point, the streets keep calling, is that's the application of that. I believe anybody can repent, but I also believe they're too far gone. And when the situation is dissipated, it'll be such a shock. Like, let's say you drink and then you gotta stop cold turkey. It's such a shock to the system, you spaz out. This is wicked, Jack. And again, through media and celebrities and all that, they keep perpetuate like Beyonce, that song to the left. But she made that song while she got a whole husband. She just got paid to tell you to do that dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like all these women y'all esteem, your Nickies and your Cardi B, they all got men and go back to them. They're just paid to promote dysfunction to you. But again, a lot of times because there's no man, whether it's a man or a father figure or somebody, these ideologies are able to penetrate the home, penetrate the woman's mind with no defense. And then once that seed gets planted, it's grown. You see what I'm saying? That reminds me of how can you, I'm paraphrasing, how can you steal, like from a man's home, you must first bind the man first. You know what I'm saying? Or that verse where it talks about wicked, I'm paraphrasing again, forgive me. Wicked women burdened down by their own lust, being deceived by, like, the proverbial Poogie the Ray. You know what I'm saying? I told somebody that I personally know, and I know they're manipulative. Now, you might not admit it, but I know, right? I said, at the rate in which you play games and lie, you can't tell when somebody playing games and lying to you. In a logical mind, I understand women aren't necessarily honed that way. I would think that by the rate in which you lie, you should be able to tell when people lying to you. The more you bamboozle, the more you get bamboozled. Maybe that leads into, being deceived or being deceivers, and then they themselves being deceived. I pray for the fall of Babylon, because if Babylon's not destroyed, we're destroyed. We can't have another generation of single parenthood. I mean, nah, we can't. I mean, I've seen rhetoric about women talking about, like, after Kamala, we're not having sex with men, lies. We're aborting black boys. Do you know if every woman or single mom or whatever you want to call it aborts black boys, the race is over with and they don't care? I'm thoroughly convinced at this point that they're under demonic possession. Because it doesn't even make any sense, even if they're not the most logical of the species. You see what I'm saying? That don't even work in your best interest. But because of, the promotion of individualism and, which is technically satanic, do as thou wilt, do whatever you want to do. It's you doing all the stuff you want to do that has caused you all the pain and trauma that you don't want to deal with. Like I said, I know personally, it's a woman, she got to be 60 years old and she go to work sucking on dinglings when she doing the UAs. But on the flip side of the coin, she's too bougie to cook. You know what I'm saying? Then this same woman told me, I've been married for 5 years. You just sucked on main man last year. And she's 60. Anytime our older women are engaging in the same behaviors as the younger women, they say, what's that quote? A nation can only rise as high as the character of their women. You got to understand, here's another aspect, right? Now, they say men, dusty, this, that, and the third. But as soon as the black man leave off Babylonian soil, he's the most sought after Negro on earth, right? That's why they'll shame passport. Now, I ain't for no tricking and all that, sex tourism, I ain't with that. But they're shaming you to stay on the plantation. Because if you leave the plantation, who are they going to lean on? Who are they going to blame? If Negroes stop breaking the law, who they going to put in the jails? You see what I'm saying? This whole construct is built off the pain and suffering of the black man. And everybody benefit from it. You see what I'm saying? But by the same token, because of what social media has done, the black woman here, the only place she can go is maybe to the Caribbean, to the islands. The Arab man, the Asian man, the Hispanic man, the white man, other than bedwin's purposes, doesn't see you as a viable option for marriage or somebody to take care of. You're something to be used. This brings me back to that scene on Roots where Kunta ran off the jump to go get his woman, right? Not real. He's so fixated on that. He's not thinking about what she's enduring. And she tells him, I can't go with you. I'm master such and such's bedwench. And that was her new identity. So yeah, I can make you feel good. But after that, I'm going back over here. It's the same stuff today. We must have really messed up with the Most High back in the day, man. Good googity gee. And then to be totally honest, because of, like I talked about in the last video about how hard it is to let go of an old identity that don't serve you no more, I don't know in mass if she can, course correct and be loyal to one man or be submissive or play her part in the situation. Because she's so used to working against stuff or nobody being able to hold her accountable. That might be telltale what we seen during Kamala when they started crashing out over the idea or the concept of harlotry and abortion, and you know what I mean? To me, honestly, whether they realize it or not, I don't speak for all black. I don't speak for myself. That's why I'm for with black women like that for the most part. Especially not on no romantic type tip or whatever. I gotta feel y'all for her. But the black woman has committed treason. It makes no sense for a woman to fight to abort her own children. That's like shooting the people in your own army. That's like tackling the person who got the ball and y'all play on the same team and feeling proud about it. The delusion, the entitlement is like, even when I talked about my personal situation fighting for custody, this person then went down and told these various agencies the child lived with her when she know that's not the case. I don't think, why would she do that? Because she's not fighting for the child. She's fighting for the resources attached to the child. I just seen a clip about a woman who actually, went viral. Now she's being interviewed because she purposefully gave her children up and didn't contact the father. They would rather sacrifice your lineage than have you build it, which would benefit them, but they don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's wicked out here, Jack. And Babylon has created this environment in which we're dealing with now to the point where we can't even we're so morally degraded and so on and so forth. They've made it almost psychologically impossible for us to even have a black community, because too much damage has been done that he's puppeteered. You know what I'm saying? We got to come together out of necessity. But in practicality, you probably shouldn't, Because now I got to deal with all your spirits and demons that you don't want to deal with. You see what I'm saying? Damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know what I mean? I don't even know, like, again, every man govern himself, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't see the point in it. You know what I'm saying? To deal with a single mother. The average single mother, who again is entitled, who's used to, being loose and, you know what I'm saying, not being held accountable, not working in the best interest of the family in totality. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you say something to her, first thing she'll holler out, you controlling. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, her and everything around her is out of control. But you ain't supposed to say nothing about it. And if you say something about it, then you're misogynistic, you're controlling, or these words they just throw out. Again, to not have to deal with the situation and the matter at hand that is totally uncouth and out of order. Like my man saying, Ball, the whole demonstration out of order. And I think the only way to correct it, like say you got a car, you start having problems with it, it's actually better just to jump the car and get a whole new car than to keep pouring so much energy into something that's keep causing you problems. That's what brothers are doing. Brothers are tired of the problems. Now, brothers are used to taking on problems, but there's just not enough of a reciprocal action to make brothers say, yeah, I can deal with this. It's not that brothers like white women or Asian women like that, more so than a black woman. It's just he just tired of going through divorce court or having his pockets graped and all that there, or having to fight for his own kids. You know what I'm saying? Or seeing these same women esteem the most degenerate of men. You see what I'm saying? That be the kicker. And you come to discover they really don't care how you feel. Just like when Kamala lost, they blamed us for some stuff we had nothing to do with. And they say 78% of black men still voted for Kamala, which means 78% of men are still pandering and voting against their best interests to appease the black woman, and it still didn't work. She still ain't respect you. She not going to respect you. You know how they respect you? When you stop fooling with them. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And I made, like, one of my earliest videos was, what is the plan for the daughters of Zion? You see what I'm saying? Because of their haughtiness and this, that, and the third, and woo, woo, woo. What, are they going to, like, get together? I actually heard a sister say this. Well, we used to not dealing with men, so we just going to build our own communities. So you mean tell me you going to build some houses and do some plumbing and change, you know what I'm saying? And change the radiator belt. Now, man, stop it, yo. Again, the delusion. They've convinced black women that black men ain't nothing, which actually works against you, because the only people who would come save you are the same ones who they've taught you not to respect, or to pick the wrong type of black men. And then when you pick the right type of black man, you don't respect him. You're taught not to respect him. You see what I'm saying? This is wicked in the camp, baby. And then where that lead a black man? Because let's say the black man go, like, I know Muslim brothers who are down here in my small town, surrounding areas, who are practicing Muslims. This how wicked the game is. Practicing Muslims, pray 5 times a day, right? And they've dated, black women, you know what I'm saying, whatever. They didn't start coming up. They're dealing with white women. And I ain't even talking about, like, the super, like, volleyball playing Becky or something like that. They dealing with half portly type. And these brothers is happy. These brothers buying new cars. These brothers going fishing. They from the city. They ain't never been fishing. They riding, you know what I'm saying, dirt bikes and all that there. And ain't look back. So if black men stop choosing black women, that's going to leave black women in the cold. Or the only type of black men you're left is the same type of black men you say you like or attracted to, but the same ones who cause all your pain, the proverbial Pookie and the Ray Ray, who have no leadership skills. They have no intestinal fortitude. They have no higher cognitive functioning. They're not adept to lead. You see what I'm saying? That's all you'll be left with. Yo, the brother Thinking Man's Templar did a video about 4 or 5 years ago. He just re-uploaded maybe last month. And it's prophetic. Where have all the good men gone? One day, sister's going to wake up. Where the brothers used to drive the buses? Where the brothers who used to, pave the roads? Or They're all gone. They're all left. You're gonna be faced with the worst of the Negroes that go up, oops, upside your head and smash on your teenage daughter when you ain't home and you got to cover that up. That's what you'll be left with. Man, this is wicked, Jack. It's a wicked game, baby. It's real on the battlefield. So black men haven't left the community because they left what no longer suits them. And it's too. I saw a video about Charleston White talking about all the community work he did. And he said he was broke. He said, I ain't start coming up until I put me first and my family. And then I started talking about the community in the way I talk about it. Then I went viral. He said, man, I was feeding people and doing this. I'm going down City Hall talking crazy with white folks. He said, I got nowhere. He said, I couldn't even, buy my kid Christmas gifts. He said, man, I felt terrible as a man. He said, until I got so frustrated, I just started getting me something focused on me, mine, and my goals and objectives. And then I came up in the drop. Now all the stuff I'm talking about community is the same stuff I was talking about years ago. But when I was in the community, ain't nobody hear me. Just like I talk about, you can fight for the community, but depending on how you do it, the same people you're fighting for who won't fight for themselves will turn around and fight you. You know what I'm saying? That's why the proverbial good man don't get nowhere. I ain't talking about being soft or simpish or nothing like that. Life's good in the sense of, like, you're decent. You have a certain moral standard, a way you govern yourself, and da-da-da. That's why the good men are leaving. And when good men leave, this place collapses. The community the way it is with the, in the city with the murders and teenage pregnancy, because ain't no men there that'll take a stand or will be, as they call it, controlling. You know what I'm saying? That's why everything's out of control. Because when you don't have control, you have chaos by default. And that's what we have in our community. That's what we have in a lot of times in these, single parent, single mother household. It's chaos. And for the black man to not understand, for the black man to understand, he no longer desires to be the sacrificial lamb. He gonna save himself because he understands nobody's coming to save him. I think I did a little better on this one. It's been late, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. Ooh,